Hello, and welcome to the next video of Learning How, Planning for Productive Skills. So far we've been talking a lot about eCRIF, and in the beginning we talked about eCRIF as a tool for describing learning. But you may be starting to see how it can also be used as a tool for planning our classes. So I would like to show you how I like to plan. So you may be surprised to know I really don't like planning on a computer. So I always start for a first draft with my notebook. And I like to draw just to help me keep track. I like to draw my little eCRIF triangle right here. As you can see, just on the right-hand side, I have encounter and clarify, remember and internalize, and fluent use right there where I can keep track of them. So that's how I like to start my planning. And then I like to start with the fluent use activity. Now, to choose a fluent use activity, I have to decide on the language topic and on the context. So to do that, I often go to my textbook, or in this case, I'm going into the Módulos del Ministerio de Educación, because that's something I know a lot of us use, and I'm looking at Primero de Bachillerato Módulo Uno. And something I see here in the grammar box is that one language topic here that I think my students could use is the simple past tense. I think the simple past is always a good thing to review, so that is going to be my topic for this lesson. And then I look through origin and evolution of life, fossils, geological time, caves. I think this is a very interesting chapter. So what I'm going to do is put it in the context of dinosaurs. So I'm just going to put my fluent use activity right here on my notebook. At the end of the lesson, students will use the simple past tense to describe their favorite dinosaur. That's my fluent use activity right here. They will use the simple past tense to do a presentation about their favorite dinosaur. So then, when I have the language topic, the context, and the fluent use activity, then I go back to the top. And I like to think about the encounter and clarify activity. Now, to try to find an encounter and clarify activity, I'm going to go back into the module here, looking. Origin of the universe and the planet. I think that's a great idea. I'm going to have my students read this text right here, circle the past tense activities, or the past tense verbs, and then we'll do a little explanation if that's necessary. So I like that activity, that they're going to read the article that's there on page 2, this article right here, circle the verbs, and then I will probably go ahead and give a brief explanation of the past simple, and I'll present them with some regular and some irregular verbs. So that is my encounter and clarify activity. I've got it right here. And then when I have the encounter and clarify activity, all I have to do is choose 3 or 4 remember and internalize activities. That sounds pretty easy. So I'm looking back at the module. I want my first remember and internalize activity to be something with relatively controlled practice. So I look here. The origin of water. I like this one because all they have to do is put the verbs in the past tense, but it looks very boring. So I'm going to go and search the internet and find a more interesting one. And I found this on liveworksheets.com. This is going to be my first remember and internalize activity. It's just a simple fill in the blank. All they have to do is conjugate the verbs. So that is going to be my next or my first remember and internalize activity. So I've got my plan going pretty well so far. I have my first remember and internalize activity. And now for the second one, I want something a little freer, somewhat freer. And I go looking again. I don't see anything in the module with relatively free practice. So then I start searching the internet again. Oh, and I like this. It's an activity where they have to put the words in order to make the questions. Then they can ask and answer the questions in groups. I'm going to make that my second remember and internalize activity. I like that word ordering activity, that they can put the words in order to form the questions. Then they can ask and answer them in pairs. Very cool. Now, for the third remember and internalize activity, I want very free practice. And I've found something I really liked. Online, I found these dinosaur fact cards, and I think they can do an activity where they have to ask questions to guess the dinosaur that their partner is thinking of. Pueden preguntar en parejas para adivinar en cuál dinosaurio está pensando su pareja. Entonces, esto me parece una actividad chévere para practicar bastante libre. Mi última actividad en remember and internalize. And with that, filling in 3 remember and internalize activities, I have a rough outline for an ECRIF plan. So that is really all I need to do to be almost ready to teach. So that was my very quick draft process for writing a first draft of an ECRIF plan. I will share a photograph of the plan below, and then I would look forward to seeing your plans in the discussion forum. So thank you very much for joining me for this, and I can't wait to see your plans.